good patients. Alcohol intoxication. For those of you, not us, I ain't included. For those of you who are, the weekenders, or those of you who like to partake in the alcoholic beverages arena, heavy, heavy, wake up, drink, go to sleep, drink, toe up, drink, noon, drink, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, drink. I want to talk about alcohol intoxication. And
911, what's your emergency?
Because when you call your doctor, they just gonna tell you to come to the ER anyway. What the ER gonna do, child? What we gonna do? When you drink so heavily over time, and a lot of people think that when you drink alcohol, it affects the liver, and it only affects the liver. Like, you can get cirrhosis, you can get, your liver gonna go bad, and what people miss, probably because the emergency room would handle it oftentimes. These patients will come in and toe up drunk from the flow up, drunk. And because they were not in denial, see, that's the difference. I think I did a video, there's some, a reel on Wendy Williams, love her. What might have been a cause of her, dementia is because there are some people who can be in denial about the level of alcohol that they drink. And that's where, unfortunately, because you are in denial, you miss out on getting the appropriate treatment and management that could help prevent or treat, stabilize your condition. And so for those patients who drink heavily that come to the emergency room, good for you. Because the emergency room is going to replenish vitamins. They're going to give you what a lot of these places now, a lot of states have these, IV sites where they know you're going to party, you're going to kick it. And then after you kick it, the next day you can go get you some IV vitamins and nutrition. Okay. Well, that's really good. It ain't cheap. Okay. But it's really good that they offer those, because there are some patients that may be vitamin deficient. And if you're vitamin deficient and you do drink a lot, unfortunately, it can cause complications that are more than liver and cirrhosis. That could be potentially what can cause things like dementia. So back up. Alcohol. What can it do? Heavy alcohol. Heavy, regular alcohol, where you are in denial, where you do not get your proper nutrition, because there's a balance. There's, people always, good people, good patients, they always preach about having a balance in things that you do. Whatever you do, try to balance it out. If you know you're doing this, then you may want to balance this out. Nutrition is so important. There are patients that, get high, they drink and they do this, but they exercise, they take their vitamins, they do all these other things. And so their body is able to keep up with the toxins that they're putting in their body, because they're balancing out, and they're balancing out by detox, But alcohol, heavy alcohol use, when you come to the emergency room, we are able to do things like give you immediately the vitamins and the nutrition that you are lacking. So that's why there are some patients that come in toe up drunk, drink all the time, liver is fine, mind is fine, because every time they got drunk, they sought care, they sought treatment, so their body was able to balance that out. And this really is just a video kind of explaining and letting you know that Don't forget that. You know, as much as you drink, smoke also, but this video is about alcohol. As much as you drink alcohol, you really do want to balance that out with the proper nutrition, the B12, the folate, the thiamine specifically, okay? Because it helps your mind. It helps your mind. There is a specific dementia that alcoholics can get. And a lot of times they get that because they have lacked over times the nutritional vitamins that were needed to sustain the brain. Okay? So because they didn't get that, they were in denial. For example, I don't want to say any names, but there's some people that are bad patients, and they drink, and then they're in denial. Oh, no, I'm not an alcoholic. Oh, no, I'm not an alcoholic. Oh, no, I'm not an alcoholic. But the best thing you could do for yourself is say you're an alcoholic, so that way you can see what you need to do. I don't want to say to be a good alcoholic, but I'm an ER doctor. It's no judgment zone. These things happen. People drink, people smoke, people are, So to be an alcoholic, where as a good alcoholic, okay, you're able to replenish the nutrition, your nutritional state, so that way your brain can continually function, and you won't get later on something like a Wernicke's encephalopathy or dementia, memory problems, peripheral neuropathy. That's another big one. That's a huge one. Peripheral neuropathy, tingling of your fingers, your toes, your hands, your feet. It's not just because you're diabetic. It ain't just because you got a herniated disc in your back and you got sciatica. It could be because you drank a lot. Okay? So keep in mind, balance it out. Balance it out. If you don't be drinking heavy, it is not just your liver that's affected. It is also your mind, anemia. Patients that drink heavily, they can have anemia, they can have bleeding, what we call occult blood, your occult bleeding, your clotting factors could be off. So instead of your blood clotting off to prevent bleeding and hemorrhaging, you bleed and hemorrhage. So you can develop anemia in places. You can develop, like I mentioned, peripheral neuropathy. You can develop dementia, memory problems, and of course, liver cirrhosis. But it is not just liver. It is not just cirrhosis that you can get from drinking. And that's what this video is, to tell you, to make sure you balance that out. You don't have to go to the expensive IV sites if you can't afford it. You can go to the emergency room. They'll give you a banana bag, or they can give you, or you can just make sure you have that. You can make sure you take the proper vitamins and nutrition regularly to balance out all that alcohol you drinking, honey. All that alcohol you drinking, you need to balance that out.
911, what's your emergency?